The Remembering Them podcast is a platform for people to share stories and memories of their loved ones who have passed away. The podcast was created in memory of Dad, Bob Cecil. May he rest in peace. Your hosts, Mark Cecil and Ryan Thwaites, acknowledge the rich history and importance of storytelling within Indigenous culture.
My name is Jorgi Skeen, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people, and I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Hello, Ryan and Luke. Welcome back to the podcast.
You dog.
I jumped in.
You dog.
You got him.
You never know how I'm going to open the intro. That's the risky business.
It is a risk. Ryan's hosting today, which is why he's a little bit upset that he didn't jump in there. We are doing an interesting persons episode today. Ryan is in the hot seat. He's taking control here. So over to Ryan. So the interesting persons episode, as most of you will know now, is a different stream of our episode, our podcast, where we talk about interesting people that you may or may not have heard of that have passed away, and we tell their story. So over to you, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. If I can take it away now, hey? All right. We're a little guessing game to guess
As always,
the origin/birthplace of this person that I'm talking about today.
Play along at home.
All right. We're looking for a country. Okay.
That's it?
How do you feel? Yeah.
That's our first clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So this is a little, should be easier because it's just a country. All right. This country is the only one in the world where you can see the sunrise on the Pacific and set on the Atlantic. It's a pretty good clue.
That's a pretty big clue.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm making these a little easier because I don't want to be a dog like you guys.
Be
Just
a
like,
dog. You didn't get it.
I want you guys to get this one. But you may not. This is actually
U of A, United States of America.
United States of America.
Is it It's the Pacific. Is it
Yeah.
And the Pacific and Atlantic, is that what you said?
That's true, but you can see.
I don't have maps
we
in
can
front of
see
me, mate. So
the sunrise on the Pacific and set on the Atlantic. I guess, but I think you'd have to be
Which one's which? I'm confused.
like you in one day can see both.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah, they have flights.
Flights.
Between, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite easy. It's quite
Gotta be
attainable.
quick.
You're not going to run.
Standing on the ground.
So it's not not
Okay.
America.
Well, I retract. That wasn't my guess.
It's fine. I didn't accept it. It was ridiculous.
I'll take it.
South America. South Africa.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Did you want to have a guess as well? I'll give you another one.
Mexico.
All right. Both incorrect.
What?
Closer.
Oh.
Luke's
Way
closer.
off.
Okay.
Oh. Central.
All right. This country's currency is officially the Balboa, but US dollars are widely used also. So.
Balboa.
Balboa.
The Rocky,
Balboa.
or commonly known as the Rocky.
Yeah, that's right. 20 Rockies.
Balboa. Smallish country. I'm thinking South America. Has to be. Balboa?
I'm thinking like somewhere like no, I got nothing, man.
This is the...
Did you say Mexico?
Yeah, it's near Mexico. But I was thinking like islands, Bahamas, but that's not both sides of the ocean, is it?
Yeah, I like what you're thinking here. You're putting your brain into some work.
That is
here.
good.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But no.
Would you like the next? Would you like the next quiz? Okay.
Yeah, we got nothing.
All right. This country has a popular holiday destination called Bocas del Toro, known for its islands and clear blue water.
Okay. Do you like that?
I like that.
Duck quacking.
I'm thinking the Caribbean for some reason.
Yeah,
You guys are nibbling around it. I tell you what.
I don't know many islands around there, like Bahamas, and then you got Trinidad, Tobago,
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
What about Costa Rica?
Stupid guess, Mark.
I don't know geographically where Costa Rica is, but I feel like it's probably solid. Isn't Costa Rica an island? I don't know.
Balboa's.
Balboa's.
Italian. It's gotta be Italy.
No, you're way off. Is that right?
Bro,
No,
praising you
You're
great.
sniffing down the right areas and he's going, well, let's go to Europe.
Yeah,
doing
Rocky
great.
Balboa.
Doing great. Italy.
Put us out of our misery, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Today
go on.
we are in Panama.
Oh.
Panama. I don't know anything about Panama.
I don't
honestly.
either.
It's a song.
Okay. So we're actually in Panama. The person we're talking about today was actually born in the Panama Canal Zone, which is a military complex. So today we're talking about John McCain. Have you heard of John McCain?
That sounds familiar, but no.
He's a past U.S. politician. And
Yes, I have heard of him.
yeah, so this isn't going to be a political thing, but I've always found John McCain interesting, and I'll tell you why today, obviously. So John McCain, his story kind of reads like a bit of a novel filled with heroism, resilience, and a bit of a straight shooter political-wise. So he's a Republican, so a bit of a more pull yourself up by the bootstraps sort of thing. And anyway, so John, let's start from the beginning. He's born in 1936 in the Panama Canal Zone. He came from a long line of military leaders. His father and his grandfather were both 4-star admirals in the U.S. Navy. So given that background, joining the military wasn't just an option. It was almost expected for this guy. He attended the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis. He wasn't a standout student, often clashed with authority, but still graduated. He became a naval aviator, specializing in carrier-based aircraft attack. So then when the Vietnam War happened, he was flying bombing missions over North Vietnam. And as part of the Operation Rolling Thunder, during his 23rd mission, his A-24 Skyhawk was hit by a Soviet-made surface-to-air missile over Hanoi. And he ejected from the aircraft but broke both arms and a leg in the process, barely conscious. He parachuted into a lake. He was captured pretty easily by the angry mob of North Vietnamese, and they pulled him from the water and apparently began beating him severely. Good times.
What else are they going to do? Pamper him.
You okay?
Let me fix that arm for you.
So many legs. You killed my friends. But so he was taken to Hoa Lo prison, infamously known as the Hanoi Hilton, where he was denied medical treatment for days. So at first his captors assumed he was just another pilot, but when they discovered his father was a high-ranking US admiral, he became a high-value prisoner all of a sudden. The North Vietnamese saw propaganda value in him and offered an early release, but McCain refused, stating that prisoners must be released in the order that they were captured, first in, first out. So this decision infuriated his captors, leading to even more severe torture. Beatings with rifle butts, ropes, used to wrench his broken limbs. Keep in mind, he's still got broken limbs at this point.
Do you reckon that'd hurt?
Probably a little.
Yeah, damn.
And long periods of celerity? I don't know. Confinement. Solitary confinement. Confinement was on the next line, and I was just like, this is a weird word on its own.
Type of food?
McCain endured all of it. At one point, he was tied up and left in stress position for days, causing him to pass out from the pain. Forced to sign a false confession under duress, admitting to war crimes, but later recanted and publicly rejected it after his release. Other POWs communicated using tap codes on the wall. Even under these conditions, McCain maintained defiance, earning the respect of fellow prisoners. So this guy could walk out at any time, but he stayed like the whole time.
What a guy.
So after 5.5 years as a POW, McCain was finally released following the Paris Peace Accords in 1973. So he returned home physically broken. His injuries left him unable to raise his arms above his shoulders.
Shit.
Yeah, he spent months in rehab and was awarded the Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and Distinguished Flying Cross for his service. His experiences shaped his lifelong stance on military service, patriotism, and opposition to torture, a stance that later influenced his political career. So in 1981, he retired from the Navy due to his injuries, surprise, surprise, and he moved to Arizona and entered politics, and where he won a House of Representatives seat in 1982. In 1986, ran and won for a seat in U.S. Senate, where he remained for 30 years, over 30 years.
Holy shit.
So he's a U.S. Senator for over 30 years. He quickly earned a reputation for being a political maverick, conservative, but willing to challenge his own party. And this is something that nobody does anymore in U.S. politics. For some reason, I'm interested in U.S. politics because it's a bit of a circus, as we know, and it's very interesting, very polarized. I think you know what I mean. Australian politics is just boring, but it's very interesting. But this is something that politicians don't do now in America. Typically, they just toe the party line, even if they probably sort of believe it or don't believe it, they don't want to piss off their party. Not John McCain, however. So a strong proponent of US military strength, he believed in an assertive American role in global affairs. He advocated for military intervention in Iraq and Afghanistan, arguing that the US had a responsibility to defend democracy. Consistent supporter of NATO, US allies, and standing up to authoritarian regimes like Russia and China. Criticized war mismanagement, particularly in Iraq, but remained committed to US global leadership. His POW experience, he was a vocal opponent of torture, and then led efforts to ban waterboarding and other forms of torture. But one of the probably big things that I like about McCain was he had his signature on this legislative achievement called the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act in 2002, known as the McCain-Feingold Act. So the goal was to limit the influence of big money in politics, especially from corporations and wealthy donors. So basically, the law aims to curb soft money donations where corporations and unions funneled unlimited amounts into elections. So that was later weakened in 2010 by this thing called Citizens United, which is a Supreme Court ruling, which allowed for unlimited political spending by corporations and PACs, and it's something McCain really opposed. He believed money corrupted democracy, and this fight was one of his defining political battles. And one of the few Republicans that consistently was willing to break the aisle, and he worked with Democratic senators on different things, campaign finance reform, and a bunch of other stuff. He was supported climate change legislation, which is not typically a Republican thing. It's key in restoring diplomatic relations with Vietnam, despite his own POW, saw reconciliation as critical to moving forward. And you may have seen this clip online sometimes. It's in 2017, the Republicans were trying to remove the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and the whole thing basically came down to his vote, and he voted with the Democrats to keep Obamacare. And it's pretty interesting. He kind of,
because he's a Republican.
And he can't, everyone's expecting him to toe the party line, but he comes in and just gives it a big thumbs down, and everyone's shocked. But this is the kind of guy this guy was. He just didn't give a shit. He was just like, this is what I believe in. So the decision infuriated many Republicans, but cemented his legacy as someone who prioritized principle over party loyalty. Diagnosed with brain cancer in 2017, passed away in 2018. And then ChatGPT tells me that Trump was not invited to his funeral. A final statement of their fractured relationship. Trump was not a big fan, called him a loser for being captured.
What?
Yeah, said he prefers people who don't get captured. Said he's not a hero because he got captured.
Wow.
So
they're in the
wild.
They've got the same political
same party.
agendas,
Same party. Interesting.
Wow.
But it's funny, like, I don't know why I like McCain. I think it is the ability to break from his party, to actually think for himself, doesn't care who he pissed off, and will just do what he believed in. Generally, yeah. And I do remember when I went to the States in 2009, and we had friends over there in Pennsylvania, and we stayed with his family, and underneath their house, they had, election signs.
Your friend's family.
My friend's family in Pennsylvania.
John McCain's
family? Johnny, yeah. And underneath was McCain signs, because they were a big McCain thing. And I didn't know anything about politics, but I got over there, and they were talking shit about Obama, and I was just like, oh man, these people are like racists, rednecks, they're going for this McCain guy, John McCain. I didn't know anything. And then as time's gone on and I've learned more about McCain, I was like, this guy was actually pretty good. Seems like a pretty good pick. Like,
good morals, yeah.
It's just a shame he ran against Obama and Bush. He lost.
What years did he run against Obama?
08, yeah. 08.
Yeah.
And you might have even seen clips. They've been doing the rounds recently because of how Trump will deal with other political figures, but how back in the day, there's clips of McCain, doing town halls and stuff, and they give the microphone to people, and then there's a lady who's like, I don't like this Obama guy. He's can't trust him. He's an Arab, and McCain just takes the mic, and goes, nope. He's a good man. I like him. Good family values. We just disagree on a couple of things. And then there's other ones of like, another guy will be shit talking Obama as well. And he just says, no, like won't stand for it, and just basically says, no, he's a good guy. You don't have to worry. You don't have to You can trust him. We just disagree on stuff, which
Wow.
is amazing. You don't see
unusual.
that anymore.
Yeah.
Then at McCain's funeral, he invited Obama to talk at his funeral, which is also pretty.
What was the
Pretty
speech,
cool.
mate? Take it away.
Nope. But it is worth a look at Obama, what he says about McCain too, because it's a different political party as well.
So
And,
Trump wasn't there again. Just
he was not invited.
I
Apparently.
wonder what he would have said.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
That's crazy.
John McCain. Yeah,
That's
interesting.
a crazy life.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think I'm still stuck on the his ability to potentially be released early and
Saying
sticking to his principles and saying, "Well,
I would have been out of there, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking that too.
Three
I'm thinking,
broken limbs.
Surely I'm out of there.
Maybe it
They're
wasn't
just-
that bad.
Little fractures. Yeah, he's just been
all the
juicing
conditions.
this.
You're talking about the conditions or the
Playing this
fractures?
up, eh?
Conditions.
Free Wi-Fi.
totally.
TVs in the room.
Oh, what a gangster!
Wow. No, so what was it? 1936 he was born?
Yeah, something about that in
So
the
what?
30s. Yeah,
He was 80, 81?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
And he
wow.
was, I think he was a senator still when he died. I can't remember. But yeah, and it was interesting when Trump lost in 2020. Arizona flipped and kind of like was one of the determining factors in Biden winning.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was saying that the ghost of John McCain had come back to screw Trump over for all this shit talk. He's talking about McCain. Arizona went blue and it just kind of stuffed him. Anyway, John McCain. Anyway, I got a quick game.
Yes.
Ooh,
Bring
really?
Bring us out.
I love games.
You're not going to love it. This is going to be hard for you guys.
Is this just political questions?
It's kind of, but I think this is interesting. All right.
Always political with you, mate.
I want you guys to give me, you can work together here. I want 8 US presidents. I know.
Like
I
right now?
can't even name it.
You can't give me 8?
There's only
Okay.
one US president right now, right?
Well,
Yeah, no, we got this. We got
Yeah,
this.
yeah, no,
do
we do.
this.
We
You
do.
got
guys
this.
are old enough to
Okay.
get this.
Obama,
Yep.
Abe Lincoln.
Yep. Congrats.
Donald Trump,
Yep.
Is it General? Or who's Ford? Eisenhower. Eisenhower's one.
Yep.
Washington.
Did you say Obama?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Was
Bush.
Washington.
Yep. 6. Which one?
Yeah, there you go.
There you
There's
go.
two.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give you another one. Okay, you just need one more.
One more. Carter.
What about the president that just left?
Oh, yeah. No.
It's funny.
John
I
McCain?
would have gone backwards. But
Yeah,
you guys are
that's
just like start, finish, middle. Oh, I've heard of this Ford guy, Henry Ford. Well done. All right. Okay.
Phew, that was
now,
tough. What's our prize?
No. You
Hey,
ain't done
hey.
yet. Give me 8 Australian prime ministers now.
Okay, I can do this. Well, we can do this.
Julie Gillard.
Julia Gillard,
Kay Rudd.
Kevin Rudd.
Yep.
The current Anthony Albanese,
Turnbull.
Malcolm Turnbull. He was Australian. Yeah. The first,
Johnny Howard.
John Howard.
Oh, who's the
The
first? Sorry.
Well, John Howard wasn't the first.
Oh, I got. Sorry, you go first.
Sir Edmund Barton.
Is that first? Is that the first?
He's the first. Is
Nice.
that right, Ryan?
Yep.
Who's the What's
Right.
that guy's name who went for a
2
swim?
more.
You know the one he went for a swim and he just didn't come back.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You know the one? Yeah. What's
Yeah.
his
No.
name?
I
It's
don't
got a
know.
real familiar.
This isn't the one, but Paul Keating.
Paul Keating.
Not
Nice.
sure if he's a swimmer.
Blow up the pokies.
One more.
Who's the president that wanted
Dude, I don't
president?
know. John Howard. Did we say John
So
Howard?
it's John Howard, yep.
Yep.
We
Don't
said
look at
John
me,
Howard.
but yeah, I said
Um,
Johnny.
said K. Rudd. Who was the guy who always had his shirt off doing swims? And,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
well, Bob Hawke.
Yeah, no.
Bob Hawke is one
Bob
as
Hawke,
well.
but he was.
But
Yeah,
do
he
you
was
know
the
what I'm
one that
talking
I'm saying that he went for a swim and he didn't come back.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Was Bob Hawke?
Bob
What do you mean
Hawke,
you don't know
yeah.
about that?
So there's
You're
eight.
talking about Tony Abbott.
Tony Abbott.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Oh, okay.
Tony Abbott.
Who's that? Come on, Ryan. You're the quizmaster. Who is that guy? He went for a swim
Oh
and he
no,
just
I
didn't come
don't.
back.
I don't care about that. That's I'm keeping
I'm gonna
that
look
for
it up
my
then,
person of interest
Because the
next
listeners
week.
will want to hear that.
The other one that was you guys probably remember from I don't know the last Prime Minister was Scott Morrison.
Oh, yeah, ScoMo. Who cares about the ones that have just gone? That was evident by the US.
Your
old news.
The way I worked out that it was going to be 8 was I worked backwards, and I was like, all right,
And
now it's getting a little bit.
You were
blurred.
able to do 8.
Yeah.
We did the same thing as we did for America. We just jumped all over.
Well,
the
my
place.
point, and you guys kind of proved it, was that like you got the American presidents like kind of easier than the Australian prime ministers, and I think that's probably, unfortunately, a result of our Americanization. Sorry, American viewers, but
Okay, sorry, just to flip back.
and we
It was
finished today, guys.
Harold Holt. Harold
Harold
Holt.
Holt, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Third Australian Prime Minister to die in office.
I think there's some, I don't know the percentage, but there's some ridiculous percentage where more Australians know who the first American president was
Oh,
than
sure.
the first Australian Prime Minister.
When you said the guy, I had to look him up just then. I was like, I don't
Really?
know who's first on this list.
Yeah, George Bush is quite famous for being the first.
The look.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. Did you guys ever watch Neighbours?
Yes.
Growing up?
We had to.
What about, do you
Mum and
remember,
Dad
do
used
you remember
to
yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Harold, do you remember
Harold, yeah.
Marge and
Harold Bishop.
Harold Bishop?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember
The trombone
how-
playing.
Do you remember how he disappeared?
Yes.
He disappeared for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you remember how?
No.
It was in the story. Went for a swim and never
Oh.
came back. They couldn't find him.
This is the
What?
this is the
This is-
character.
this is
This
that-
isn't the, is this
The character.
No, the character. Yeah, yeah.
Little hat tip to Harold
Yes.
Holt, maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, maybe.
Holy
yeah.
shit. I
Wow.
just cracked the code.
Wow.
I'm
Any neighbours
It's all
fans?
simulation, mate.
call
We're in
up
a
Neighbours and be
simulation.
like, I'm on to you guys.
I know.
I started a Reddit post today and Neighbours.
How good was that episode that came out on Friday? Hey, I can't believe it.
Oh,
Can't believe that
boy.
Tony did that
Let's start a Neighbours
thing.
podcast. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's
Yeah,
go on
thanks,
now.
Ryan. Thank you, mate.
Well done, Ryan. That was really interesting. I mean,
Take it away. Finish it up on Ryan.
not huge on American politics, but that was really cool. To would not have known about that. McCain's backstory.
Great life.
and-
What a life he lived. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there was 5.5 years. I probably would have given a miss.
Yeah, I would have been out. Tuck out.
Guy's a baller.
Get me out of there.
Yeah.
I've got, before we wrap up, I've got a quick previous guest question for you both,
Oh.
just to railroad this one a little
This
bit.
is
we go.
my
Yeah, sorry
episode.
about that. Well, you can
Wouldn't
read
know
it.
anymore,
You can
brother.
read it if you want. Topper Sunquist, who, Ryan, you did not attend this recording.
Ryan
Luke and I
Ryan
were-
actually said that Topper has the voice of an angel.
Yes,
Oh,
you
dude,
did.
that guy's voice was
Yes.
incredible.
There we
Hello, Topper. So Topper asked, he sent in a question. He said, how do you see the difference between, this is a serious question, by the way, how do you see the difference between grief and mourning when it's sudden and unexpected compared to the example when it's an elderly relative's slow decline? People have come to terms with them passing away while they're alive. So this probably speaks, I use expertise really loosely here, but Ryan, you had that experience,
Yeah, it sounds
friend
like
really
me.
quickly,
Yeah.
and Luke and I obviously with Dad had a slow decline.
Well, I also
So-
had a friend with a slow decline. Also.
Yes, so you're probably the perfect person.
Yeah,
to
I'll
answer
take it
this.
away.
Yeah, go for it. This is your episode. So, go.
So what is the difference between the two? or-
Yeah, so the how do you see the difference between grief and mourning when it's sudden versus unexpected?
Man.
I think you just answer this. You're the perfect
No,
person.
well, I
No
guess-
pressure.
No, I'd love to hear your answers as well. But I think for me, I was 21 and then 31, and I was very different at both ages.
Yeah.
So I think it's really hard to control for that that variance, I guess. But I think the one at 21 hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I'd never lost anybody. I think so that was hard, and they're so different, but they both suck equally. I think if I had a choice to lose a friend slowly or quickly, I think I would take quickly. Now that I've done both, because
I hear that, yeah.
because I don't, even though Scott was deteriorating over years and I realistically knew it was coming, it didn't make it any easier. Maybe it did change my behavior, but at the same time, I feel like if I care about a friend anyway, I'm going to be like that anyway. Well, probably now because that's what's happened. But I think, I think I would just rather lose a friend quickly, which is
Rip
just,
the Band-Aid off.
yeah, which
Proverbial
kind of
Band-Aid.
sucks, and
Yeah.
I probably would actually probably die just quickly than get cancer and
That's a bit selfish. of
fight
you.
it
So you'd
over
rather,
years.
you'd
Yeah.
rather Luke plane crash gone.
Yeah, rather
Thanks.
neither.
Thanks,
of them. Or would you rather get cancer at 80? I don't know. Yeah, who cares? Yeah. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I don't.
What do you think it would
it's
be?
interesting because like when it's instant, you don't have like obviously you might regret. You might say, oh, why don't I call them up? Why didn't I hang out with them last week? Or why didn't I say I love you more to that person? So you miss out on those qualities.
Sure.
Whereas with Dad, I know I'd visit just about every weekend in the nursing home. I don't know if any of it goes through, but I'd always say I love you. You know, like we're here for you. We care for you. We're going to miss you. All those things. So it was at least nice to get that off your chest in a way. But either way, it's just it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. I think. Actually, this is a little bit selfish. Prior to starting this, I probably would have been same with you, Ryan. Unexpected, bring it on. Well, not bring it on, but unexpected is preference. With our learnings from this podcast and the people that we've spoken to, I think I would prefer not for them, with the health decline, but for me selfishly as a friend or family member to be able to do those things and say those things, because I think I did with Dad. So just with all the learnings from here to be able to say those things and thank them and whatever.
Sure.
Because I think I would, touch wood, if it was you passed away, I don't think, or let me put on record now, thanks for being a good friend and I love you, all that kind of, but I don't think we really have the chance.
And then just giggles about it, plays it off.
Yeah, but we haven't had that, if you were.
The Remembering Them podcast is supported by My Legacy Message. How do you want to be remembered? My Legacy Message provides a service that delivers a keepsake video to your loved ones, often as a surprise, after you pass. My Legacy Message. Be remembered.
If I knew you were declining, then we'd probably have those heavy conversations.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's hard to look back and retrospectively say, because now I'm the product of all my learning. And I think I even with Scott, when I'm literally at the hospital when he's dying, and I felt no need to try and communicate anything to him. It was hard because he wasn't even really there. He's so drugged up. But I didn't feel the need to let him know how I felt about him because I just knew he did.
Yeah.
And that's the end. And
That's true. That's
so
true.
for me, we've talked about this before, always make sure that the last words you say to them, and just because you could lose me time. I don't know. I think I kind of devalue that these days now because it's the bigger body of evidence
doing
is
it
more
daily
than,
and
it's like what you say on the way out the door
regularly,
is just something. But if it was reversed and I was the person who died, I wouldn't care what you said on the way out. The last thing we said. I mean, we put this sentimentality on this last thing when really it's like I just.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to say something
I wish the last,
derogatory.
But you were a G the last 3 years, so that means more to me anyway.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it seems to be it would be easier for me collectively to be quick.
Yeah. It's a really interesting question, and thanks for
That's a great question.
Topper for
voice
sending that through. Great voice. Thank you for sending those questions in. Any of our previous guests, or even if you're not a guest, send the questions because we'll try and answer them to the best of our ability. And that probably leads really nicely into our final things that we cover off on the end of episodes. My legacy message, perfectly. If you want to leave those video messages to your loved ones, telling them about all of those things, whatever you want to tell them, that service is out there for you, mylegacymessage.com.au. Leave a message to your loved ones after you pass away, often a surprise. Reminder to support us on Patreon. Links are in the show notes. Jump on and support the podcast that way, $6 a month US, very affordable. Rate and review the podcast on any platform. We would love 5 stars ideally. Leave us a message on there as well if you'd like to, and follow us on all of our socials where you'll see all of our clips and links to the podcast, and like and share, review, all of that good stuff. Thank you, Ryan, for hosting. Thank you both for another great episode. It's great hearing about John McCain.
Thank you,
Topper. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, John McCain.
Love you both.
Thank you.
See you in the next one.
See ya, boys.
Bye.
The Remembering Them podcast is created for entertainment purposes. Mark and Ryan are not licensed mental health professionals. If you would like to discuss your mental well-being, several free resources are available in Australia. Information about these services is available in the podcast notes. Please take the time to contact a loved one today and tell them how much you appreciate and love them.